Welcome to the Jake Turner Podcast, where we share tips on life, health, and business. Hello, I'm Jake Turner. I'm my doctorate in nurse anesthesia, and I'm a certified life coach. Today's guest went from sleeping in his car to running multi-million-dollar builds. Now he designs and builds high-end homes and outdoor spaces and teaches how to build wealth through real estate. Please welcome Marcus Hampton.
Hi, guys. Marcus Hampton here, owner of Hampton Design and Build. I am actually out of California and Arizona, licensed as a builder. And it's truly a pleasure to be here, Jake. It's been absolutely fascinating watching your story, just going from just coming across your Instagram page and just your social media content. Like, who is this guy? Well, obviously one of our mutual friends sent you over to me. And when he shared the page, he said, "Hey, you're going to love this guy." And he was not wrong. And just what went from just a basic DM saying, "Hey, I love your content," to being here, it's insane.
Sliding into someone's DMs can be a good thing, for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Did you hear about the music store down the street that's giving away guitars? No strings attached. I promise it will get better from here. So yeah, you know Rick.
I do.
Yeah, you know Rick. And before we get in some of the other questions, you were staying at my house past couple days, and you were able to spend a whole day with me in my regular routine. And that's what you said you want to do. I said,
absolutely.
Okay, if that's what you want to do.
I asked for it.
Yeah. So tell me what it was like from your perspective.
Honestly, for me, I grew up without a ton of routine. So whenever I'm around someone who has it, I feel like a fish out of water. And I'm not going to lie, that's how I felt from the beginning. Like, oh my gosh, this guy not only is driven, but this process, I read body language, right? I understand psychology really well. And the first thing I start analyzing before a person even talks is like, how they carry themselves, how they walk into the room, even if they're having a conversation with someone else, right? And after seeing how you were just navigating through the process, I knew 100% this was not something you just recently fabricated. You have been applying this process for so long, and it's impressive. It's impressive because I always felt like with my routines that I've had to create, right? It's difficult when you don't have an example to follow. And what made me feel like I was so distant from people who are high achievers, I realized I ended up creating those traits in myself by just, again, creating a routine. Now, is my routine as rigorous as yours? Absolutely not. Not yet. But just seeing that, it's inspirational, I want that to be something that is part of me. And it was just an amazing process to see.
Well, awesome, man. I appreciate the feedback, and I'm glad you were open to it. I do some crazy workouts, different habits, but I hope you got to see too, like middle of the day, still having fun, still getting the most important things done during the middle of the day.
Right.
Ironically, running to our videographer, grabbing coffee at the same place, but focus on getting that most important thing done in the middle of the day.
Yep.
And then building our other routines around it, working out a lot through the day. Like you mentioned, it helps keep your energy up throughout the day. So where you're feeling accomplished, relaxed, like physical, and we did mental meditations even at the beginning of the day. Just makes for a great day.
Absolutely. The fact that I was able to knock out work during that process too.
Yeah.
Client follow-ups, my day is so long. So for me, with prioritizing my personal and mental health has been something that has been on the back burner, and I've had to pay for it. Even though I'm 29 years old, I now have to implement processes that a lot of, I'll just say, older people have done for physical therapy and just simply to make sure that they're able to walk properly, right? Just to maximize life. Not even 30 yet, and I'm needing to go through these things. So for me, just again, seeing that, how you prioritize, knowing where you stand, right? Your accomplishments on top of running the podcast, the relationships you still manage, right? I have no excuse to be sitting here feeling broken and beat up when I can simply just address that same amount of time that we're given right in the day. So
Right.
it's just, I'm telling you, it impacted me a lot. I love it.
Well, I'm glad, man. And even after the podcast, you know, I'm here for you. And, you know, you being a close friend of Rick, I didn't even met you, and I let you stay at my house for a couple of days. You know, it's this type of person who I am. I totally trust certain friends. And if someone says their word's good, I trust you for that. And I'm glad to have you here. Let's get into some of these questions. What did sleeping in your car teach you about business?
Perseverance. I think that's really it. You know, when I initially made that move, you know, keep in mind what led up to that, right? What led to that. You know, many people in my group that I was born and raised around, you know, they'll say, well, you didn't have to be in that position. You know, you could have always come back home. You could have always, you know, just made your way back this way and it would have been okay. And I think about it and just how much I had to force myself to change, right? Living the definition of insanity, right? Doing the same exact thing as everyone else, but expecting different results. I knew I needed to be away from the environment that I was so comfortable in. And moving to a different state, thinking everything was going to be phenomenal, it not being that, you know, that case. And then realizing, oh my gosh, I can't just up and leave. Like, I don't have any money. And I said, you know what? I'm not going back. Stayed in my, slept in my car, stayed in that position for several weeks, you know, trying to kick my leg across just to even be able to extend my leg so my knees wouldn't hurt in the morning.
Yeah, because you're tall.
Yeah.
Like you're 6'1", right?
Yeah.
Doesn't quite fit in. What kind of car were you sleeping
in?
It
was a Toyota Camry, gold Toyota Camry, 2014 on some black custom rims, you know.
That's like the size of a twin-size bed at best, maybe.
Yeah, well, at least a twin-size bed, your feet can hang off the end of it, you know.
You could roll down your window, maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. In this part of Arizona where I was staying, it was very questionable. I was, it wasn't possible. But
where did you move? Where did you move from? What state to what state?
So California, Southern California, the Inland Empire. So I was born and raised in Riverside, and more specifically, my hometown was Rubidoux, which is Jurupa Valley, California. They renamed it.
Is Riverside a pretty rough area?
Riverside is not. Rubidoux is the more, how should I say, urban area. Okay. You know, where your average income is lower.
Gotcha.
Quality of life factor, you're just exposed to a lot more things. Yeah. I don't like saying saying drugs on a podcast that make it.
I'm thinking we can say drugs, not promoting.
Okay, there we go. Okay, got it. So drugs, violence, like the average amount of people that graduate from high school, things like that, like the struggle, it is absolutely real there. And again, coming from that, the standards, I don't want to say that they were low. There still are some phenomenal people that I know that are from there, but unfortunately, the expectation, my family specifically, you were praised for just graduating high school. Like, oh my God, you did amazing. Like, is this it? Like, this is, is this it? Like, this is so very, very different compared to more so what I'm exposed to now.
Yeah, getting past high school for sure. I mean, it's like a baseline thing,
Yes.
It's kind of controversial whether you go to college or not these days.
Right.
Whatever your path is, but I see what you're saying, like that expectation's low. It makes me think of the saying, like, well, at least I didn't go to jail. It's like, well, you're not supposed to go to jail.
Right. Right, yes. And actually, ironically, that is another scenario from my background.
Yeah, like
you didn't go to juvenile hall. Ironically, I did, but that is not something I'm super proud of. Learned from it, right? But
at least I didn't go to juvenile hall. Oh wait, I did.
Yeah. Well. Darn probation. There's a whole story behind that. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Well, you have quite the hero arc, which we'll talk about. you don't mind talking about really quick too, because I didn't really have it in some of these questions here. You know, my buddy Rick, who is a pro BMX rider, used to race pro BMX.
Yeah.
Can you talk about how you got into that, and especially how young you were when you started getting paid by some of these big sponsors?
So what, oh, man, that's a loaded one. So to start it out, again, because of my background, ironically, I fell into BMX racing out of me making one of the worst decision I could have ever made as a child. So keep in mind, when I was 10 years old, this is the first time I'm actually ever going to bring this up, and hopefully the last.
Okay. You don't have to talk about it. You don't want
no,
to.
but I will, because I used to, you know what?
Okay, great.
I used to be so embarrassed, and I still am, because I just like, oh man, so many people around me, just the environment I was surrounded by, and just, oh, this is normal. This is normal. Like this type of reaction from a kid. And I'll explain the story. So
Yeah.
I was 10 years old, and I ended up getting expelled from school
Okay.
for an assault and battery charge.
Oh, wow.
Which then turned into, I don't even know if children could have felonies, but I went to juvenile hall.
Okay.
And ended up having a drug possession charge, gang affiliation, and there was one more. I think it was because I wasn't making it to school, so there was an attendance factor in there as well.
When you were 10 years old?
When I was 10,
Okay.
I was 10.
Wow.
I got expelled from school.
Wow.
I ended up on probation,
Okay.
and that was when I went to juvenile hall.
Okay. Gotcha.
So that day, after the assault and battery charge, I also had a concealed weapon.
Okay.
Which was it was a BB gun. Wasn't even an airsoft gun. We were too poor to have an airsoft gun. This was a BB gun. It pinched the ball and it shot out. Didn't even shoot, straight. Went sideways or something.
Those things can sting.
But yeah, exactly.
Where you get one in the eye.
Yes, and that factor right there, that when the police officers came to my house and arrested me, and that is what they had specified. Well, someone still could have gotten hurt. They shot it, like, hey, we want to make sure first it's not a real gun.
Right.
And they saw like, oh, this is a $5. You can't even say it's a BB gun. It's not like, it's a play gun.
Right.
But because I had it on campus, and it looked the way that it did, and someone had reported it, they had to treat it like it was a crime.
Ah, I see.
So yeah, went through that whole process, ended up getting expelled from school. And part of my requirement or to pay back to society outside of community service was also reading books.
Okay.
So as a kid, I always liked riding my bike. I knew BMX was a thing, but I didn't know BMX racing existed.
Okay.
So part of the process of me reading these books, I said, hey, you know what? If I'm going to read anything, it needs to be something I enjoy, because this is boring. Like, read a book, I'm a badass. I don't need to read I don't need to read a book.
What, smart people read books?
Yeah, exactly. What? Yeah. So I ended up getting a book that was called Extreme Cycling with Dale Holmes.
Okay, cool.
Literally, man, within the span of about 2 to 3 weeks, could have been a month, it's all bundled together. But I ended up, part of my community service, I ended up helping a distant aunt, just family by association, I should say, move into her home, which was right down the street from the closest BMX track to me. Some guys were riding their bikes in the neighborhood, and they said, hey, Marcus, I was talking to them. I was like, hey, I know how to work on bikes. Like, I can kind of help you. And they said, hey, Marcus, yeah, you actually did help us. You changed our tires or tubes in our tires. And we'd like to take you to the BMX track. I went with them. My mom let me go. And literally, I beat them at the race. I raced both of them. I beat them. I ended up getting second in the entire race.
We're not inviting him again.
Yeah. It was horrible. The mom that took me was angry. But again, within a matter of a few weeks of that, I went again and found out the pro that was there, that was in free agent bicycle gear, like the jersey, it said Holmes on the back. And I'm like, wait.
Wait, is that the guy that wrote the book?
The book that I stole from the library?
Oh, you stole a book.
Yes. I panicked. I went back to my car and I said, Mom, I think he's here. I think it's Dale. The book that the BMX racing guy, I think he's here. I think this is him. Come to find out, It was.
Wow. What?
And I get goosebumps. I don't have them right now, but
Yeah.
every time I tell the story,
I think
and
I'm
it's
getting some too, or it's kind of hot.
yeah, exactly. but it's a long story, but to really explain it, through that process, through meeting Dale, I was exposed to people who actually knew how to win.
Oh, cool.
I was able to be on a team with a 2-time Olympic gold medalist.
Wow.
I was able to be on a team with multiple world champions. I was able to be on a team with men who pushed through adversity, who pushed through living in different countries, didn't use that as an excuse. Hey, I don't know English, but I'm about to go and move across, the pond per se, right? They're in Europe, they're in England, they're in, these places where, I'm sitting here saying, oh, my life sucks. Yet they're in an entirely different world, basically.
Yeah.
And by being exposed to that, I didn't know where I was headed. At that time, I was thinking that, I was going to be a professional BMX racing athlete, which again led to the relationship with Rick, knowing him and in his process, what he did for the industry and how many people we just had in common.
Yeah.
But also just the impact it had on me mentally was just, hey, you have a vision. Again, you don't know where you're going, but life is going to be good. These guys get it. Follow that. And that's what I did.
Well, that's awesome, man. And so glad you're here. How did you meet Rick then?
So Rick, everyone talked highly of him. So in BMX, so racing national, across the country, I would catch rides with multiple people and just random families. Hey guys, my mom and family couldn't, and it's not saying it's a bad thing, but my mom couldn't afford the dream of me being able to travel the country.
Yeah.
So at 14, I had a real conversation with her. She said, Marcus, you're going to have to stop racing. And I said, absolutely not. I said, no, I'm not. That's where we had our little falling out, typical teenage relationship with the parent.
Not getting along with the parent.
Exactly. Exactly.
What?
Yeah, exactly.
First time for everything.
Yeah. So, but instead of it being a girlfriend, it was BMX. You're not going to take me away from this, Mom. And that's literally, I remember just being so stern about it.
If I had to choose over losing a relationship with my mom over a girlfriend or something with two wheels, I probably choose the 2 wheels.
Yeah, exactly. Same. Especially at that age. At that age, oh my goodness.
Wonder why I'm still single. I'm just joking. But but really though, and ironically, thankfully, that was where my passion lay. Right? Yeah. I wasn't like, obviously I was attracted to the girls in high school and all of that, but at the end of the day, really my passion laid in the fact that I didn't care about school. I didn't want to be there. Didn't want to be around people. Like, this bike makes me feel amazing. I feel like I can escape everything that I've been surrounded by for so long, and it made me feel different. That's really what it was, because I always hated the fact that I just felt the same as everyone else. How did it make you feel? Like you say different. Like, how did it make you feel?
Like I had an escape. I didn't feel stuck. I'm like, when I say that I rode miles, I'm not kidding. On a 20-inch BMX bike, I would put in probably, I'd say about 30 miles to 35 miles in a day.
That's a lot.
I'd go to the next city over, I would be in the areas that were wealthier, up in the hills in Riverside.
Yeah.
I would just escape. And I felt like, in a way, this was me escaping my life, and it was, but for the better, if that makes sense. Yes. I wasn't running away from my problems. I was going towards something that was better, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Did it make you feel like free? Because I know whenever I still ride dirt bikes now, what I like doing it, I think it requires such an intense level of focus and danger. You are required, you can't think about anything else.
Yeah.
Because the jump's coming, you're worried about the controls.
Yeah.
And so even though you're going over obstacles, you're actually really just going in a circle.
Really?
You're just doing laps. You're pretty much just going in circles.
Right.
But because of the increased risk and danger and coordination, and actually makes you feel free and calm.
Your blinders are up and all you see is what's in front of you, and that's really where it is great. Typically, I hate the blinder, that metaphor.
Yeah.
Oh, blinders are up. Like, oh, well, that keeps me from looking at other opportunities. Like, no, but in this case, when you're in the zone, when the camera's rolling, the action is there right in front of you.
Yeah.
You need those blinders up.
Yeah.
You got to be able to know exactly where that landing is.
Yeah.
Right. So, and that's it. Hey, so that way I can be prepared for the next one.
Yeah.
Because again, you're not just saying, hey, I'm going to get over this jump and we'll figure it out after. Like, no, hey, as soon as I land, actually before I land, my eyes, okay, I already know I'm about to land here. All right. I got to be ready for that next slip.
Right.
Yeah. So for me, again, I think psychologically, it just took me away from the problems in life that I was exposed to, growing up as fast as I had to. There's a lot of things I had to personally sacrifice about my childhood, and BMX, made me feel like that was all okay. Yeah. This was natural. All these guys all grew up fast. So should I.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I don't think you do now, but I almost guarantee if you dive back into BMX a little bit or some other recreational activity, it would then enhance your life a whole lot more.
Yes.
Because when you create space for some of these hobbies, it makes you realize, like, why am I doing business all day? Why am I doing all this all day?
You showed me that yesterday. I think that's really where the eye opener is because I get so intense, right? And that's where this next generation of me, right? I got through my 20s just saying, I'm gonna work through this. I'm gonna grunt it out, and I learned very quickly, through the process of being burnt out so many times and not being honest with myself, that approach is not it. If you're here, just like any sprint sports, if you look at a guy who's a professional, Usain Bolt, oh my God, he's so fast. Okay, yeah, but if he went and ran that race against a guy who runs marathons, Usain Bolt would have came in last.
Right.
Because he's used to sprint sports. Yep. He still has to. When you're on that gas pedal, you can only stay on that gas pedal and push it into red for so long before you got to coast a little bit, right?
Yeah, you have to build a different engine, and typically people that are high achievers, the feeling of, I'm really overwhelmed. You said the FIFO mentality, figure it the F out.
Right, yeah.
Where there's this great engine that you build that it's like, gets you that next level. I'm going to push really hard and I'm just work even harder.
Right.
And this is going to get me through it. That same engine, the vehicle of your life, of your business that you've created, that's the same one that's going to drive you into the wall and make you crash.
Bingo. Yes. Yes.
And so learning maybe some techniques of how to drive the vehicle better, when to let off the gas a little bit, be a little bit smarter how you're driving. You can use the same vehicle, be a little bit smarter about it, embracing that magician side of yourself, which we've talked about a little bit yesterday when you came up with finance and different things like that. From age, is it 24 to 29, you ran projects from $20,000 remodels to now doing $3 million plus estates.
Yep.
What changed when you entered high-end work?
Man. I think ultimately it's just realizing that the quote-unquote numbers game that the sales environment teaches you, right? The transactional side, the more people you meet, the more you sell, the higher that number is. Like, in that realm, when you're talking to someone who is looking at spending, keep in mind with real estate, with outdoor living spaces and real estate, these are the largest expenses these people will ever pay, and especially once you get over probably, I would say that the $250,000 range, that's where everything started really to, switch. The people in that realm, it's more of an experience factor versus, hey, just get it done. Just get it done. And it's because they know that you're going to be there for quite some time. So for me, I could never be transactional. I was always horrible at that. I'm still horrible at it. I'm not that person. I am someone who values relationships. I value having a relationship with my clients. I like letting them know who I am, getting to know them, understanding their real needs. That way, again, we can both come to the same conclusion of, hey, let's get this done.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's for me where when I realized that, it made it a piece of cake. Given a lot of these larger, these custom jobs that we're doing, well, the fact of them being custom, keep in mind, a lot of people don't do this. These materials that we're using, that we're having shipped in, custom product, trim carpenters being flown in because they're, the talent in certain areas may not be the best, but with relationships that I've been able to create over the last several years, it's worked out great, and I realized again very quickly, this is the environment that I thrive best in. It's not just simply figuring it out. It's doing the right thing, bringing a phenomenal product, but also, again, along with the phenomenal product, you got to bring a phenomenal process. I want the client to enjoy this, not just getting to the finish line, but again, enjoy the journey, smell the roses along the way, and just know that this is going to be absolutely phenomenal once we get to that finish line. Whether it is, again, that $20,000 project. Really, we haven't touched, I'll be honest, I have not touched anything that's probably about $20,000 in probably the last 2 to 3 years. Our average job sits at around, again, that $250,000 realm.
Yeah.
But whether it is that, we'll just say that the backyard, that is a, $300,000 job, $250,000 job, or an entire home, which a lot of people don't even really get to see much because I'm on NDAs. That's the other part too. Oh, well, we don't really see your custom homes. Like, well, it's because I don't care. I'll share some of my posts, but at the end of the day, like if you believe me or see it, like I'm not going to sit there posting these people's homes, like, and that's part of the project, part of the process.
Yeah, they want their home to be private.
Exactly. Do you even know what an NDA is?
That's part of it,
so there's a few that I'll be able to share. We got another build coming up, and I'll be able to share that one. But at the end of the day, this is it. This is the realm I want to be in, and I like the fact that I can be this.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's awesome, man. That sounds like you got to a really good niche and it's working for you.
It is. It's beautiful. I'm blessed and thankful.
Yeah. Well, good, man. It's inspiring. You built a fully integrated estate, house, ADU, garage, pool, landscape, almost $3 million in 12 months. Where do builds like that usually break?
The relationship with the investor, or I should say that the whoever it is that is the end user per se, if the investor is going to be selling it, or if it's a partner that you have on it, there's a joint venture process that we have. We'll do a joint venture. It could be just, hey, we're building for an investor with a management fee, or we're building for a client, which is actually very rare. I rarely will ever build directly for a client unless I actually have a good relationship with them. And they actually go through my process. Again, I call it the date your client process, the dating before marriage.
Okay, yeah, we'll get into that.
So, but yeah, so, yeah, really, it's the communication factor, right? Foundationally, when it comes to jobs this large, pre-construction is your best friend. For the typical person that comes from, an environment like mine, getting to the money as fast as possible, right? That's the whole point. Like, we got to get this money. Say, wait, actually, if I collect that revenue and we're not ready for the next phase, that now sits. That is interest that's stacking up. Even if the client's paying cash, that's money they could have been making interest on.
True.
On their return. There's movement that's not being seen, and there's processes that aren't understood, which again shows that there's a lack of communication in that process as well. Well, for me, by this time, I've already told the client, hey, it's my priority to make sure that communication's solid. And if they're seeing this, where this is, again, how should I say it? The lack of proper planning, right? Pre-construction, the lack of the foundational approach being used, which is, again, all the fundamental processes being in place, giving the client the full rundown, like that right there, then they end up losing trust. It's not just a matter of just, trust is gone. Yep. It slowly diminishes over certain areas, or it can be fast if they find out that you're in fact lying to them, abruptly, but typically it's slow. But during that process, as it slowly diminishes, if that makes sense, like you got to replenish it. It's like a cup of water that has a leak in it.
Yeah.
I think that's really it. So, hey, we know for a fact that this is going to happen.
Right.
This is always, it doesn't matter who you're building for. They could even be your best friend. But if they're not seeing that communication, if they're not seeing that experience or getting that experience, if they're not seeing things move, if questions aren't being asked, if they're not being reassured,
Yeah.
that whole process, it could be an absolutely phenomenal build, but the relationship's tarnished.
Yeah. It makes me think that your focus on the relationship aspect of it is so important, because it is, especially when it comes to them trusting you. And like you said, if you lie to them, like once trust is broken, I mean, do you want to live in a house that a liar built?
I got a client right now. I tell them I act on an NDA, so I won't say their name, but I will say they're in Canada as we speak. It's just an advisory client.
Okay.
Her and her husband have reached out to me several times regarding a project they're currently on. They even said middle of the job, hey, we wish we would have hired you, to actually be the builder versus just consulting on this. And I said, okay, it's no problem, but I'm still here.
Yeah.
I'm still here. What's going on? Walk me through this.
Yeah.
And first thing that she says is, yeah, well, the builder told me this, and I found out immediately within a matter of a few days from another vendor that did not happen. Blatantly. They confronted the builder about it, and the builder blatantly says, yeah, I lied.
Wow.
And keep in mind, this is a $2 million build
Yeah.
on a house that is 2,000 square feet.
Yeah.
So just to put in perspective, that's a price per square foot. That's a lot of money to be going out on something where you now have someone who is, if they're lying. Now, my thought process on that is thinking, okay, if they're lying about something so little here, what happens when we get to the nitty gritty where it is something that actually is, quote unquote catastrophic?
Yeah.
If there is an opportunity to be able to learn and help others learn from that, it's important.
Yeah.
Don't just, if you're being exposed to things like this, most people in my state, especially in Arizona, yet alone my age, aren't having people reach out to them asking for construction advice and how to navigate through these jobs. The fact that I have someone who is actively in that area in an entirely different country coming to me saying, hey, I wish we would have flown you out as we, had a talked. It's a blessing.
Yeah.
And it's my duty to be able to share that knowledge to be able to help others. Right.
Yeah, it's awesome. And I think it comes down to a lot of basic, simple things in life. Don't lie and invest in your relationships.
Bingo.
These simple things affect everything, including the house you want to build and live in.
Bingo.
You talked about dating your client. Let's talk about that a little bit. So you have a process called Date Your Client.
Yep.
What does that mean?
Well, just like a relationship with someone you're looking to court, right? Your first date, you don't just go in, well, we'll say for the successful first dates, you don't just go in thinking everything is solid. Hey, I'm taking you home. Like some try to go in confidently like that. But unfortunately, I mean, even if she's, or I'll just say they're gorgeous, Oh, I like the way you talk, the sound of your voice, like the way your hair glistens in the light.
Ginger, beautiful hair. Yep.
Yeah. I would. I have my preferences, but that approach is it's ignorant, because what you're doing is you're failing to address what could potentially end up flourishing, right? But then there's the other side where it could fester. So for me, just like what I did with my wife, how when I saw that things were escalating between us like rapidly, what I started doing was saying, hey, you know what? I'm going to have the difficult conversations now. Hey, I'm letting you know I am still learning how to be a man. Hey, I'm letting you know I did not know, I don't know how to be a father, but I want kids. I don't know anyone who works like this in the finance industry, which is what I was part of at that time when we first had gotten together. And, but I am still going to work over, 90, 100-hour weeks. This is normal. Just letting you know. And if you stress me out, understand I'm going to look at it as me not being the problem. If you're stressing me over my time management, right? All these things that I thought at the time were accurate, which I've had to address in myself. But what I'm saying is, foundationally speaking, these are where my limits are. These are my boxes. This is what you can address. This is what you can't. Here's me as I am, right? So with my clients, my process is, hey, I want to get to know you. I want to know your family. I want to know your why. Do you want to live here? How long do you want to live here? Like, is this going to be an investment home? Do you plan on passing it to your kids? What's your favorite color? What's your aesthetic? What's your taste? If numbers, if finances were not an issue, what would you end up doing with this home differently, or this design, these construction plans differently, if numbers weren't an issue? Do you like long walks in the park while holding hands?
Right. Let's build your house in your park.
So just the giggle that you gave off right there. So for me, psychologically, I know for a fact whenever I can get at least one of them to giggle, hey, they understand me, and they have a slight humor, even though we're talking about something serious. These are hundreds of thousands of dollars in value, right? Or even millions. And it's being able to get that out of them. I am now understanding my clients' demeanor, their process, their quirks, and those buttons I can push a little bit, but also the huge red flags.
Yeah.
Hey, are we compatible? That's really the most important part with that date the client process. For me, during that design phase, which is where I date my clients, I find out if our energy, which is a real thing, like, hey, are we able to do this dance together? Because this isn't a two-step. This is a tango. Yeah. And we're trying to get to that same destination.
Yeah, it makes you think of a lot of things when it comes to, we'll talk about dancing first. So one of the most important things I learned about relationships and dancing is it is like a dance.
Right.
And say me and you are dancing, okay, right? Dancing, well, sometimes one person's going to take a misstep.
Right.
But it's important when you're dancing, and just like in life, in a relationship, you come back together, you readjust, and you start dancing again.
Correct.
To the rhythm.
Yep.
Exactly. Now, when it comes to picking your ideal client, also related to dating, right? We were joking about this yesterday, but someone you're dating, and it's like this could relate to your client or as well. Do they laugh at your jokes?
Yeah.
Or do they have like a weird laugh, like am I going to be able to work with this client for so long?
Yeah.
But specifically though, relating to dating, if they never laugh at your jokes,
right,
or they're always easily offended, usually a sign they're insecure.
Right.
And so I think
the crossed arms, and what else is he going to say?
Yeah. Or a big red flag is, I will never date someone who says, "Oh, what are you laughing? Like, what's so funny?"
Yeah,
like
in a serious demeanor.
People say, you hear someone say, "What's so funny?"
Yeah,
bro.
Yeah, I'm out. Yeah,
because it's like what in itself in that phrase is such a heaviness,
right,
and also insecurity to it. You don't want to be around someone like that or work with them as a client.
Right. And those, again, thankfully for me, I've also started realizing that because I give so many of my potential clients like grace, hey, they're a human being. These areas that I think are, I call them yellow flags, right? Like yellow flags. Hey, the yellow flag's waving, And then that's when I actually go to someone like you, for instance. Hey, what I view as a yellow flag, is this actually a red flag? Should I be concerned? And you're like, yeah, dude, that's actually a huge problem.
Yeah.
I would absolutely think this through before you move forward. So I've had to start doing that because, again, you do run into the few that do slip through the cracks. They look amazing and oh, this is gonna be beautiful, but because they're telling you, right? I'm not telling them what they want to hear. I'm gonna tell you what you need to hear.
Yeah.
But if it's not being reciprocated, Now you got someone who's packing the relationship with tons of useful knowledge and wealth and effort. And the other person's like, what am I going to get out of this? You know?
Yeah. And you could be dating someone or have a client who has the most wisdom, and like your case, you have so much knowledge about how to build a house and make it great and everything. But if I'm not receptive to that, I'm not listening to anything you're saying, it's the old saying, wise words fall flat on deaf ears.
Yeah.
If I'm not willing to listen to anything you're saying, I'll build my house however I want. Foundation.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah, we get a lot of people.
Or you said before, people can approach a house, which I don't like approaching anything with the mentality of where can we cut corners.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The use of value engineering, whenever people say that, the typical person that's saying value engineering, they're not talking about value engineering where we can, address a pitch in a roof line for a gabled roof. Hey, let's make that a little bit less steep so that way the roofing company doesn't struggle as much with getting these shingles or concrete tiles on, or just in general, it's a safety risk, right? So you're going to see numbers increase. Let's make it a lot less steep. Or let's use a parapet roof where it's flat so that everyone's safe, but also the materials you use aren't anywhere near as costly. But again, understanding there are repercussions to that with the aesthetics, right? It's balance. Yeah. It's balance, right?
There should be some sort of balance in there. You don't want a roof so steep that everyone gets on it gets injured, of course.
Bingo. But again, I will tell you, even being here in Tennessee, seeing it, the aesthetic, it's beautiful. So I understand the value.
Right.
But when the typical person is talking about value engineering, at the end of the day, what they're saying is, like foundational things. I had someone tell me, hey, why do we need to go through so many inspections on the soils for our home? Like the structural engineer said everything's signed off. Okay, well, did you not see the fine print that if there are substandard or soil conditions that are outside of this specific box, that if there are any failures to your foundation, that this is not on the structural engineer? Oh, but you don't care about that. You just care about saving a few dollars that would definitely impact not just me, but the end user of this home.
Yeah, it's like the house is going to sink.
Yeah, exactly. Which is what we see a lot. That's actually, ironically, the foundation is how I make like foundation repairs. That's how I make a lot of my income, which a lot of people don't know.
It's like, does the house look a little smaller?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the whole side of this house just fell off. Yeah, exactly.
It's just like tilted.
Yeah, exactly. And which happens a lot even in states like Arizona where people say, oh, well, the soil's been baked. Like, buddy, this isn't a cake. This isn't a cake. But okay, all right. I already now again, that's a yellow flag to me.
Right.
Where if I go to someone who's actually in construction, that's been building, one of my mentors in general construction, they may say, hey, that specific phrase right there would have told me to run, not walk, but run. So. Yeah, that's my point. Giving them grace, but also using something like that. As soon as that phrase is used, especially with the investors that we'll build for, what exactly do you mean? Elaborate. And then I take that knowledge and that's where I say, hey, actually, this is worth it, or no, I'm not going to touch this.
It makes you think of a saying, I wish I would have thought of this, like this is the guy who's on here. He's this young kid, Danny. He does marketing for social media. He's a great guy. I'm trying to think of it because you want to be wise but not naive.
Correct.
And so the saying is like, you want to be wise as a serpent, but harmless as a dove.
Yes.
And so you don't want people taking advantage of you, but you also want to give grace in love.
Correct. It's a fine line, and that is, I feel, our jobs as being not just, bosses, right, but leaders. That is exactly what the struggle is, right? Because for me, where I come from, a lot of people did get taken advantage of. I look at my mom, same thing. She is such a beautiful woman. But because she had to play the role of both mom and dad, she was exhausted. Yeah. And unfortunately, it resulted in certain things being able to happen that she couldn't control, and people being able to take advantage. Yeah. She said, hey, I need help. I'd like help. Okay, let me go and try to tap this person in. Well, I don't have a whole lot of money, so I'm going to ask this buddy who kind of knows construction. He calls himself a handyman. Hey, can you come work on my house? Well, she's out that money and now the work isn't even being done. So just little things like that, just how important it is to understand that fine line and how should I say it? How to be there, how to get there efficiently.
Yeah.
Well,
I think a lot of it comes to having a plan. It seems like with building a house or your day, it really comes to having a plan, because whether you're wasting time or money, not having a plan doesn't get you on the right path of where you want to go and creates a lot of wasted time and money. You can see it in building. Now, do you think for anyone watching this, if they had a tool that would help them focus on what's important every day and get that done, do you think it would be helpful?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's very much so needed. Again, ironically, we had this conversation about how much I have applied the general construction philosophy. What I do for work, ironically, is a great metaphor for how life should be managed. As people, as human beings, we are not great multitaskers. We're not programmed to be that way. One, maybe two. But outside of that, like, you are struggling. You have conversations happening in your head about so many different scenarios. We'll just say in construction, material orders. Hey, we're getting ready to start this next job. Actually, I never got that invoice back from the trade partner. You know what? There is a specialty order that was supposed to be ordered from Europe that's supposed to be on its way here. We were told it was supposed to be on the boat, and it's not. Oh, actually, wait, which job was that? Oh, shoot, I forgot to go and check my project management folder. Let's see where we're at during the day. Wait, payroll's going out. Oh, wait, I forgot. I had another client that reached out to me asking about some questions involving some building. And then on top of that, you have your children trying to call you saying, hey, Dad, can I get 5 minutes of your time to FaceTime you? So through all of that, you have to realize very quickly, again, I can't get through this rat race on my own. So again, being a general contractor in business is not about being a jack of all trades. It's about mastering delegation. And I look at it the same way in my life. I did exactly what I needed to as a 20-year-old, figuring out how to produce great projects for great people and building a business that is going to be able to create true wealth, not just for my family, but for the people who have believed in the dream from the beginning and decide to hop on as well, Yeah. And it's the same thing with how I manage my life. It's the same exact process for how I manage my life. It's delegating. Hey, you know what? Babe, I need meals made for me. She's able to be more present at home, as I should say. She has the most important role in our household, which is called a homemaker. She is turning our daughters into fierce young women and loving young women, right? And for me, it's like, hey, you know what? I have certain things that I did not, there's skills and traits I did not develop as a child myself. And I've had to come to terms with that, instead of sitting there trying to push myself into that. I say, hey, I need help. Yeah. Can you help me? Yeah. Hey, yeah, got it. No problem. Sweet. All right, babe, you're doing your job. I'm gonna do my job and be a phenomenal, producer for you guys. Me being home, making sure I take some things off your plate. Same thing with going out and having, let's say my laundry. Hey, I need dry cleaning. Hey, instead of me putting that task on my wife, I need drop it off the dry cleaner. Hey, instead of me sitting there trying to change my own oil or trying to figure out how to get materials for my own vehicle. Hey, car dealership. I have an important task that needs to be taken care of. Time is very important to me. Can I just drop the car off to you and then let you guys figure this out? And I'll just take a rental car. How does that sound?
Yeah.
Just that little bit, just the understanding of time.
Yes.
As you said, time and money. Yep. Money's going to be made.
Yeah.
I've made a lot of money. I don't need to, like, that's no longer a question anymore. And if I can produce that, you know, the number one thing that I realized I can't produce after I've spent it, time. Yeah. It's gone forever. And whether you're investing that in the right things, like me being here, or if I'm, you know, out somewhere I shouldn't be, you know, wasting it.
Yeah. On our phones.
Yeah. On our phone. God, don't get me started on the reminder that my phone gives me about how long I spend on. Oh my God. We're getting better. But yes, it's just to loop that back in, properly delegating, right? It's not being a jack of all trades. It's not being a jack of, you know, managing life. It's saying, hey, I am a human being. I know I'm imperfect, but I also know that despite being imperfect, I'm still striving for greatness. I want to be better, not just for myself, but for others. And how can I do that without limiting this gift that I have?
Well, a way to view that, I believe I sent you a sample of it, is I have a journal I created. Yeah. And if you're watching this, if you go to my Instagram, follow me, DM me the word journal and podcast, I will send you the sample of the journal. I'm going to start selling it here soon. It will help you focus and get that most important thing done each day, like yesterday, help create the podcast questions, get things ready for today.
Yeah.
Also, while you're watching this, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Very little effort. It really helps grow the channel, and we need that so we can keep doing great things, keep getting more lighting, better video, audio, keep getting great guests like Marcus to come out. While we're at it, how can people find you, find your service, find people, where people can find you to get a house built by you?
Really just social media, really the website. You know, I try to keep it as simple as possible. So Instagram, I'm on Instagram, Facebook, somewhat TikTok, you know, kind of working on getting my kind of, you said that, my kind of,
I don't like kind ofs.
Yeah.
I don't like try.
Yeah.
We can go into that. What are your handles on Instagram and your website so people can find it?
So Instagram personal is Mark Anthony Builds, MARC Anthony Builds. And then the Instagram is Hampton Design Build for the business. Primarily, the easiest way to do it is going to be hamptondesignbuild.com. That website's going to get you to me. I get all the notifications whenever anyone sends in messages, inquiries, etc. But whether it's through personal or business, everything is funneled to me, so that way I can have those direct conversations. And yeah, that's the best way to do it.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Great. What do homeowners learn too late?
That it's okay to have a relationship with your builder. You know, if we're really talking about the homeowners who are looking to build, you know, and just especially in the semi-custom, the custom realm, you know, having a relationship. Again, if you're transactional, understand there are things that come with that, right? If you're transactional, you want it fast, then you want it fast and good. It's not going to be cheap, you know? Or if you want it fast and cheap, again, just understand quality is going to be sacrificed. It is that simple. It is that simple. And people try, again, the value engineering. Oh, well, I want it all. Okay.
I want it all made of cardboard.
That's it, exactly. Bingo.
We get done real quick.
Yeah. Bingo. So yeah. So for homeowners really like that are in my realm, you know, they need to be more diligent, or I should say, address due diligence more efficiently by asking the right questions. You know, there's too much knowledge out there now where you can actually, even AI, what questions should I ask my builder to get to know him?
Are you suggesting people do that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, why not? I mean, it seems like a good idea to me.
Throw me random questions. I want to get to know you. And if you don't, like, okay, understand the lack of effort, just like any relationship. Like, I think really the homeowners need to understand that they're going to, again, there are clients that I have that where I just deal with their building coordinator or their construction coordinator, which is a representative that they have that manages the build and pretty much follows up with them at each of the phases. But even with that, I don't like it, because if there are situations that need to be had, or conversations that need to be had due to certain situations, hey, this came together and I actually don't like the way it looks, I need to get the client's perspective. Oh, well, the end user doesn't want to talk to you, Marcus. I'm the building. But yeah, you're dry. You're cut and dry. This is not your financial investment. They're paying you to do this. I need to know directly from the client. Oh, they're not willing to talk to me. Okay, this makes things really difficult because now I have to halt.
Yeah, but it's like, okay, you don't want to talk to me, but that's the person that's paying.
Correct.
Why wouldn't they want to talk to you?
Yeah, well, depending on the size of the job, I will say, we just wrapped up another large project as well, where this is the client's 4th house.
Okay.
And that's another one. I have all the photos in my phone under their project folder, and it's literally in it. I have it notated. Do not just send to the building. What do they call them? It is their construction manager.
Oh, okay.
Their construction manager. Don't just send to the construction manager. Send to homeowner, construction manager. Like the more serious ones, even though they told me not to do it, I'm still doing it because at the end of the day, like these are like, I want you to understand. I could care less how much money you make if the experience is not what it needs to be, or there's some type of issue that needs to be remediated. Even if you have the amount of money needed to say, hey, Marcus, I know I made a mistake in my taste of design, and I know we need to remediate that. Well, understand too, I have other projects that are sitting, waiting for this job to be done because I don't spread myself thin.
Yeah.
So now you're impacting other clients that actually have respected my time.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing too, is just money. For some builders, money, you can't put a price on my time.
Yeah.
If I'm working with you, either you get 100% of Marcus or Mark Anthony, or you don't. And I simply don't work with you, and again, this is why I say the relationship aspect is so important.
Yeah.
Hey, I need to know. It's rare that I will take on those projects where it is managed by a construction manager and then the homeowner. But when I do, again, being able to lay out the foundation, these are my expectations. If I can't get this type of communication, if I can't get these specific answers, then we are going to hit a hurdle and the job will just be halted.
Yeah. It's amazing because we're talking about house building a lot, but it also feels like we're talking about relationships more so. And when it comes to building a house or building a relationship, they're very similar. What's the foundation? Is there communication? Is there compatibility? Do we have shared values? That's our foundation. Do we have that? And then if you look at a client who has the money but doesn't want to put in the time and the effort, how good of a quality house or relationship that's going to be? Oh, here's money. Just throwing money at it. That doesn't improve the relationship.
Right.
You can't just take a $20 bill and throw it in your child's face.
Right.
And be like, here you go.
Right.
You're not going to meet their needs that way.
Right.
Someone would be like, oh, take the 20 and run.
Right.
You know what I mean? But how are you going to make that person feel?
Right.
You're not there for them. Why do they even need the money?
Right.
They could need more.
Right.
Especially when your time is the most valuable thing, that needs to be invested into people, relationships, the house you live in. Even the person has 4 houses, it shows that you can only live in one house. I don't know if that person's living in all those houses, but they're using those houses as investments. Oh, I don't care about it as much because I'm not living in that house.
I'm not the end user.
Exactly.
I'm not the end user. And even then for me, that's where my mind is going.
Yeah.
Again, I understand your need for the investment, but understand longevity here, right?
Right.
Do you want me to build something? Are you asking me to build? If just because you want me to build it doesn't mean I will.
Right. True.
I say no now a lot more than I do yes, and it is so surreal, by the way, because that's not me being prideful. It's just knowing my value. When I enter a room, understanding, hey, I can't be swayed with my integrity, right? On these builds, especially if I'm working with an investor, I'm opening up my books, literally everything. I'm telling him, hey, this is how this is how the spread is going to work. For me to be able to get my revenue, if it's a build to sell, especially, like, hey, I need you to know I'm not sitting here trying to screw you. Yeah. Like, I want you to trust me. That's why we're in this joint venture, but also understand we're human beings. I expect you to verify. That is something that is so important. That's what I failed to do in my early 20s. And guess what? I've lost hundreds of thousands of dollars because of it. Yeah. I trusted so much and failed to verify, to see, and the writing was on the wall. If I would have just verified within the first few days of doing business with these specific vendors, these trades in construction, it's just...
Yep.
It still gets me. I'm infuriated when I look at it. But again, it's a lesson learned. I will say it was a necessary investment to be able to be better. And now, when it comes to these relationships, again, hey, trust, but also verify. And if I'm going through this, it has to be for the right reason with the right people.
Yeah.
I'm not going to allow anyone inside of my realm that could cause any catastrophic harm.
Yeah. That person, it comes back to their red flags. You know, that person wasn't laughing at your jokes. Or
Bingo.
had that weird laugh. Haha.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. You're laughing. I need this relationship, please. You know,
Desperation. I need this house.
Oh God. No one else will work for me. Like, oh, this is a you problem, huh? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You know, and being so optimistic too, that's what makes it difficult. Is this for me? I always say the grass is greener where you're able to water it. So even though I'm looking at this grass, looks like it's not just dead, but it's been hit with a flamethrower, looked like a bomb went off, you know. Oh wow, you are in fact a horrible human being. Yeah. You know, and I've had a few clients and I'm okay, I'll throw it out there. I had one recently. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. You know, just the them paying the bills, you know, throwing out some excuse. You know, I always talk highly about buyer's remorse. Mm-hmm. Hey, before you do this, don't let pride get in there. You know, oh Marcus, it sounds like you're backing out of your process. Like, what do you mean what process? I don't sell a darn thing, my guy. You are the one who I build dreams. I build dreams. I turn that dream vision of your design into a product. That product has a price tag on it. And you need to understand that price tag. When I tell you that price tag, that's my cost. I'm not knocking it down. I'm not maneuvering for it. Like, I have to be able to use that to produce my process, right? To be able to follow through with my process. I can't change that. Yeah. Now, if you are stretching yourself thin, just like same thing for me, if I'm sitting here telling you, hey, I can't stretch myself thin, which is why I'm giving you the most valuable thing that I have, right? Which is my time. Yes. And you still put yourself in a bad position, and then you're emotional over it, and then you're like, now I have to be a psychologist too, which is fine. Which is fine, because that's what a lot of people don't realize in construction. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like primarily I'm a psychologist first, and then I'm a human being, then I'm a builder. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. When it comes back to relationships, it's amazing too, because you know, like, a relationship isn't going to work out either when it's like it's like a home that's already built, right? Yeah. Kind of like someone who is as a person. Yeah. And then looking at you never look at a house and just stare at it outside and be like, oh, it'll change. It'll get better, without doing any work on the house. Yeah. You got to do work on the house, or else it's not good.
The infrastructure,
I'll just wait. It'll repair itself. Yeah. It's like, no, you got to do some sort of work in order to repair, heal, right? Just sitting and staring at something. Time is not what heals things. Right. There's an actual repair process.
Effort.
To it. Effort. Absolutely. How about this real quick? We've been talking for a while. We can leave this in, or could I always offer people that. Is there anything you would like to be coached at or coached about?
Honestly, for me, it's really just buying back the time continuously. You know, that's actually when it comes to coaching, I'm constantly being coached. You know, I've done a lot of self-analyzation since I've been in contact with you over these last few months, you know, but also being vulnerable, right? Like, the vulnerability has been by far it again, there's that thought process in the back of my mind. Oh, don't give everyone information. Don't let people know that you're struggling, or like, no, I'm not going to sit here and suffer. As for the people that are around me anyway, they understand that, again, I'm here to make sure my entire team wins. Yeah. If you show me that you're on my side, all the people that are closest to me, all my boys, you know, my wife, her friends, even her friends, you know, they'll call up. Hey, I got a construction question. Are you willing to answer it? Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Why not? Yeah. You know? Mm-hmm. So, but vice versa. It's the same thing for me, where it's like, hey, I have a question on life. I see that you do something, you have a skill or a trait to you that I want to possess. Why am I not being vulnerable?
Yeah.
What's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to tell me no?
Yeah. Or if I could change your life in an instant.
Bingo. Yes. Bingo.
Even as you say, sometimes people will say, oh, I need this, but typically it's over here. So you want more time back. What is holding you back from getting more time back?
It's me. I'm the bottleneck.
Okay. How so?
Still not asking the proper questions, making sure I have the right people, the right person, right? That's really what it comes down to. I'll tell you, it starts with understanding really what's missing.
Okay.
That self-analyzation, as you do that, going through that process, that walkthrough, right? You asked so many questions, and this is what I will say I loved about just even our first conversation. How you just sat on the phone with me and just went through questions that I've been asked over the years, but to have them asked back to back, the way I had to take a step back and look at myself and say, oh my goodness, there are voids, there's some childhood trauma, there's insecurities. And I don't like saying childhood trauma, by the way. I'm not a victim. I'm thankful, but I want to emphasize this. Everything that has happened to me happened intentionally. That is exactly what needed to happen for me to be the human I am today. And I'm so thankful for it.
Amen. Yeah.
But with that being said, I had to learn my coping mechanisms and how to really address those things on my own, which may not have been the most effective way, So why would I sit there and lean on my own understanding when there are professionals like yourself who can break down this entire process that I feel is a forest fire and say, hey, you're not broken. You're not worthless. There's value here. You have... Sorry.
You're okay.
Oh, man. I'm so sorry.
No need to apologize for anything.
Oh, man.
I'm not judging you. I'm just sitting here with you listening. What are you feeling?
Man. Just at times when I think about it, it's I've been doing again a lot of realization. Doing a lot of things where the realization of just certain situations I've been in, just the impact, you push so much aside, and you just suck it up, and I just my main, I've always felt so just, oh man. It's like I've always had to be the sacrifice for everyone around me,
Why is that?
Just because
interesting.
Everyone in my family, including my mother, my siblings, like, I don't know what made my thought process so different. But for me, since I was a kid, I never understood why I thought the way that I did, my thought process. I just always felt like it was so disrespectful to have watched them go through everything they did, just have life literally beat them to where they felt like they needed to give up. I've experienced people giving up in physical ways. And I'll just say some, most of them are still physically here, but you go through those scenarios and I just always said, no matter what life throws at me, hey, how many punches? Sometimes those punches, they hurt, you know, you still got to push through.
Yeah, life's tough for sure.
And I think that's just really what it is. It's just, you know, I just want to ensure that what I'm doing though is exactly what the best thing my mother could have done for me was make sure that I had a foundation where I knew I didn't have to take her monsters that she had and carry them myself, right? I use that as a foundation and I build, and I just want to ensure the most important thing for me is ensuring that my own wife and children don't have to carry the load that I've carried since I was a child, you know? Yeah. And it's not even just them, it's the people around me. Yeah. You know, I take pride in knowing that I don't radiate that stress. Yeah. Whenever people are around me, even when they're feeling it, even when we're in the depths of some very difficult conversations, that Marcus genuinely cares, you know? And it, sometimes I fail to remember that as I'm filling other people's cups, that it's important to make sure that mine is full too. And it's just realizing all of that. And sometimes again, it comes to me in emotion, like, hey, you know, ensure that you are, you gotta do that. But
yeah, it sounds like you want to do the right thing for your family and getting that concept just secure in yourself, like knowing, like having that clarity, that certainty that you're doing the right thing. So something else. So on the level of certainty that you're doing the right thing, because I think that is something you're struggling with. Yeah. If I had to guess, making the observation. Yeah. On 0 to 10, how certain do you feel like you're doing the right thing for yourself and your family?
It varies drastically.
Well, right now, I'm just saying, just a number.
Just a number?
Just like comes, like your first thing that comes in your mind.
I'd say for me, about a 7.
7, okay.
About a 7. Okay. You know, it's a time management factor. Okay. You know what I mean? Like really what it comes down to is knowing that, hey, I am providing, I'm ensuring my children have the best life possible, given the scenario that we've had, you know, statistically speaking, in comparison to where I'm at in life now versus what, you know, life may have been saying was acceptable for me as a child. Yeah. You know, statistically speaking, where I'm at, and, you know, when it comes to accomplishments, Jake, I have, and it's not even the fact that I'm thriving like that. I'm not sitting here saying, hey, I've got millions in real estate. I've got millions in stocks and investments. I'll say I've been smart with my money, thankfully, you know. But the number one thing that I can't get back, despite how hard I work, is the time. I can't change the fact that I don't remember my babies being babies. Because I was so stressed as I'm sitting there looking at my daughters. I'm sitting there holding them. You know, hey, you are the most important thing to me. You know, I don't want anything or anyone to be able to be in a position where they can take advantage of you. I don't ever want you to have to do what dad has had to do and just simply accept certain things that have had to take place and that I've had to do just to be able to make ends meet or get by. Yeah. You know? Yeah. And I've taken that to heart, you know, and it's the phrase that you've said that is around, oh man, how do you say it? I'm going to sacrifice time with my family to make money. How do you say it? What is the phrase?
So the way I think people are saying in this hustle culture is, I'm not going to spend time with my family and work really hard so that I can spend time with my family. But it really is just saying, I'm not going to spend time with my family, so then I can spend time with my family.
And that one resonates.
Yeah, it's just totally backwards. Before we move on to some more questions, I want to challenge you a little bit with this phrase that I need to sacrifice myself, this thought of I need to sacrifice in order to help my family make this work. What would be a more powerful thought? Maybe the opposite of that.
I need to be the champion. I need to be the champion that my family's always needed. My mom always did say, and and again, this is where I've in our conversations, realizing it, that's why I knew immediately, like, I have been having these conversations with myself where I'm, my words that I'm choosing to say, speaking greatness, as you said with our initial conversation, I need to be the champion that the family always needed. I'm aware I'm in a boxing ring, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Instead of it being what some mediocre guy that I'm not learning something from, the way I look at it is I'm in a boxing ring with the likes of Muhammad Ali, Floyd Mayweather, Holyfield, the guys that are, as I get hit, like, oh man, this hurts, but this is great.
Yeah.
So I'm learning. At such a young age too, and that's where I get excited, and that's where, again, the analyzation, instead of wallowing, I go through that. I realize, what I've created. Like I can't change the fact that I do I struggle with the fact that I don't remember my daughters being babies much because I've been so buried in my work and my process. And my you got to be passionate, you got to be hungry, and you got to hustle.
Yeah, understand.
But just talking to myself, being more kind as I get in my own head, and just understanding there is a way out.
Yeah,
there is a way out. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah, and I know it's not a train. Yeah.
Well, and you're a fighter, like you said. What was the phrase you used the other day? It's like about getting the beat out of you.
Yeah.
What was that?
It's kind of hard to beat a guy that is used to getting the beat out of him.
Yeah, exactly. You're a fighter.
Yeah.
And I want you to change the phrase a little bit because I want to say a couple of things. I want to make an observation, if I may. First, when you said that phrase, I need to be the champion for my family. Anyone watching this, probably even can hear through audio, your face brightened up.
Yeah.
It seemed like your energy shifted.
Yeah.
You seem like you're a totally different Marcus. Now, I like you to change that phrase just a little more because this is truth. You are a champion.
Right.
To where you say to yourself, instead of you saying, I need to sacrifice myself, when you say that, you also say the word scarcity a lot.
Yes.
Getting rid of that just from being with you the last 24 hours. Saying, I am the champion my family needs.
Okay.
Because that's the truth. You're a champion. BMX rider, you went from your car to building, luxury homes. It's very impressive.
Thank you.
You should be very proud of yourself.
I'm getting there. Yeah, and that's where the words that the effective, and again, getting there and trying, those words need to be eliminated as well.
But words are powerful.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. And especially how we speak to ourselves.
But try saying that now, if you don't mind. It's like, I am the champion my family needs.
I am the champion my family needs. Yeah. That's so crazy. Oh my God.
How's that feel?
I just feel it as I say it. I just feel it's so crazy, man. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah. But I see it. And for me too, I will say, because a lot of the things that we do, and it's funny how you even bring it up. Like, hey, some view this as being corny. Some view this as being corny. But you know what? Some of the corniest things, one of my wealthiest clients I've ever worked with, the man, I love him to death. I love him to death because he's had all the real conversations with me that I needed. Yeah. He pointing out processes. Hey, Marcus, like this. Actually kind of address that. Okay, cool. Like the constructive criticism, because that's one thing I'm big on. Like, hey, if you're gonna talk about me, if you're gonna tell me, like, say, hey, I'm gonna fix something, tell me how to do it.
Right. Exactly.
Tell me how to do it. Yeah. You clearly are. If you are a professional in this and in an area where I am not, by God, share your gift with me, just as I would share mine.
Yep. If I have someone in my house, I ask you, I'm like, I need some stuff hung on the wall. I need some help.
Absolutely. And literally that's what we do. So with that client, same thing. Those processes that people consider corny, really, it's just routine. At the end of the day, the fundamentals, right? The foundation is routine. Yep. Hey, we're doing something that is different. And psychologically, you're putting yourself into a realm where the typical person won't do it. because they're so, what are you embarrassed for?
Yeah.
You know what's embarrassing to me? Sleeping in my car. Still. Actually, you know what? At the end of the day, I want to say this because some people, oh, well, I'm actively doing that now. Like, I want to emphasize sleeping in your car, being homeless, living with your parents, getting support from people it's not wrong. What's wrong is wallowing in it and staying there.
Yes.
Saying, hey, I need there's a difference between a hand up, right? And when I say hand up, guess what? You have to put in the effort to say, hey, I'm getting up. Thank you. Hey, thank you for putting your hand out to help me, like help myself up. Right? I got to pull myself up.
Right.
But then there's a handout. Hey, I'm already standing on my feet, but here's a few bucks.
Right.
Here's a few bucks. Okay, well now I'm used to that. Now I can't fend for myself. Now I can't go out on the hunt. Like, no, don't save me. Let me figure this out, my guy. Let me figure this out. And that's something I like emphasizing, because for a lot of the young people, the young adults, do not put yourself in a position where you are exposed to so many. You could be exposed to horrific situations unnecessarily. You don't have to bump your head. My journey of just, like I said, it's hard to beat a guy who won't give up, especially when that person's used to getting the crap beat out of them. I've been taking punches since I was a kid, and I eat them like they're breakfast at this point. Because I know this is life.
Knuckle sandwiches.
Knuckle sandwiches, right? Right. Yeah, that's the best way to put it. And that's okay.
Yeah.
But you don't, it's just making sure that you're not putting yourself in a situation unnecessarily. Listen to the wisdom that people are sharing. Take those lessons. Yes, in order to earn, you have to earn a lot of wisdom, right, by going through it. But you don't have to physically go through everything, and that's why vulnerability is so important. Hence us being here, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask the questions and be vulnerable, so that way I can be as effective as possible in the approach.
Yeah, I appreciate you being vulnerable. You see how a coach, just a short 15-minute period.
Yeah.
People can get a taste of what it's like to be professionally coached, and just those little shifts can completely change everything. So I appreciate you being vulnerable, and I hope you can see too. I try to stay outside the podcast, but definitely like while we're here locked in, looking you in your eyes, letting you finish your sentences. We want to make sure you feel seen and heard. I'm feeling very focused on you.
Absolutely.
And it helps you. I know it does, but I hope it helps you feel that hey, you're safe here with me.
Absolutely. It does. Every single time.
Yeah.
Every single time. That's I'm thankful to have you in my corner.
Yeah. I'm thankful to have you, brother. Seriously.
Absolutely.
So glad to meet you.
Thank you.
It's my pleasure. A couple more questions I want to ask you before we get to some of the other fun questions, and then we're almost done here. What is your dinner table rule?
Dinner table rule for us, my wife does a phenomenal job at this. I am horrible at going against the grain, but I will say I have done a lot better with realizing what she's doing and why she does it. But our dinner table rule is that we eat dinner together. We eat dinner together. Hey, put the phones down. Let's make sure we ask the questions, right? Instead of it being corny. Hey, I never had these questions asked. When I was a kid, my mom would lock herself in the room with her then husband, and they'd watch TV. I'd make a bowl of cereal for dinner. Didn't really cook too much. Hence me being a bad chef as is.
You haven't cooked for me, but I'll take your word for it.
I would not let me. You would end up with food poisoning. Absolutely. I cannot make a bowl of top ramen to save my life.
I love cereal, so you
can exactly. And even that I could screw up.
Well,
yeah,
I don't know about that. Even a bowl of cereal made by someone you love, it's still
the effort that counts, right? So. Yeah, my wife, what she does is I'll be sitting on the couch, and she'll pass the bowl to me if I'm sitting there. I'm wrapping up emails, I'm finishing up calls, and she'll say, "Hey, here's dinner." She doesn't come in front of me; she does it from behind me, and that's when I see her and my kids already sitting at the table. I'm like, oh shoot, like And it's so crazy because, by the way, the psychological stuff like that, like I've learned a lot of those strategies from watching others. So she's seeing that from me over the last 10 years of being with me, and she's using it against me now. And it has worked phenomenally.
Well, as long as it's working.
It's working phenomenally. But yeah, so we eat at the dinner table.
Cool.
I ask the corny questions to my kids, is what some would say. You know, hey, how's your day? You know, did you talk to any boys?
Yeah.
Who's at the cheer gym with you? What'd you do? You know,
I'd watch your language with that corny, because how many adults today, when people listen to us, would just like someone to genuinely ask, hey, how are you doing today?
Bingo. Then that's why I say it. So the reason why I'm saying corny, what so many people would think is corny, is it's normal. That's what I want to emphasize.
Yeah.
That's why I say it's because what I thought originally was corny, like, oh, mom, why are you asking me these questions? Like, no, I would love to have someone ask me genuinely how I'm doing.
Yeah.
Hey, stop. No, really, how are you?
Yeah.
And that's what I do to a lot of my good friends, my boys, as I should say, you know, my brothers, they know whenever I call them, whenever we do hop on a call, I'm horrible with follow up as of right now, because I'm on the phone with so many clients and prods, you know, material orders and vendors and even trade partners, you know. So for me, it's just constantly go. But when one of them call, I'm like, oh shoot, hey, actually, let me try to breathe a little bit, or hey, I'll return your call once the workday's over for me.
Gotcha.
You know, and it's the same thing. Hey, how are you?
Yeah. Yeah. And if someone says, I'm fine, it's usually best to follow up like how are you really doing?
No, lean in.
Because most people just say, I'm good.
That's what I say. That's what I say. One of my old business partners, Reese, you know, he is really good at this, because he took the phrase from me, because I always say it, and he now takes that and does it. Like he'll poke, like if I don't respond to him, like, again, we're not business partners anymore, but he's one of my closest friends just because of the conversations we have.
Yeah.
You know, we've watched each other change over the last probably 4 years, and same thing. Hey, Marcus, checking in on you. Hey, Marcus, checking in on you. Hey, man, I'm doing good. No. FaceTime.
Yeah.
What's up, buddy? You know, what's up, buddy? Like,
no, I'm good.
Oh, yeah, yes. Yeah, and I am. You know, typically sometimes like he is the one, he's one of the other ones that I can, like, you know, and that's another thing too for me, like the crying, getting used to that. I didn't start crying until after my dad died. Like after that, that's where I was like, oh man, I got a lot pent up. And the last thing I want to do is be one of those like, well, I'm strong, I'm firm, you know, no worries. But let me pass off these emotional insecurities to my kids because I can't cry, so now they can't. Like,
then you blow up on someone.
Exactly. And that's what it was. That's what it was. Literally, it's like someone who is so calm and impatient. And I started seeing it on my family. That's what it was. And like for me, I'm not verbally abusive. I don't scream. I don't do any of that. Don't bring that energy around me. But what I will say is I noticed it in the subtle hints when I'd be on the phone and my daughters are coming in, you know, my baby girl, she's my burst of energy. She is the one that has the eclectic mind, but the creative side. So she's constantly needing to like do things and move. And hey, Dad, here's my puzzle. Hey, Dad, I finished my homework. Hey, Dad, look at this dance. And it's, you know, the Facebook post where it's like, you know, you're thinking it's something magnificent. You're taking yourself away from a super important task. Like, oh shoot, actually I got to get this done. I got to not lose my thought process. And your kid's like, you know, she goes and says, Dad, I learned a new trick. And it's just her jumping around and doing a 360 and landing and just, you know, doing a little bow with it.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, you know, but I can't. You know, I will never take that away from her. Yeah. I'm still going to clap for her. Oh my God. Yes. Great job, baby. I'm going to do the dance with you too a little bit, but now I got to go back to my desk. Yeah. But I wasn't doing that originally, and I found myself being so intense. And it's like, baby, I got to be on the phone. Yeah. I can't answer right now. Like, you know what? You probably should have went with mom. Yeah. You probably should have went with mom.
Yeah.
And I hated that. So I'm getting better. I know for a fact I'm getting better at it.
Yeah. She tells you a dad joke that's not funny.
Oh my God.
You're like, ha 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 ha.
Yeah, oh my god, she's great with them too. Sometimes she finds them. Last night when we were on the phone, when you heard us, when she was FaceTiming me before bed, you heard it. You know, she kept trying. She kept trying. Like, no, baby, don't worry. You're on the spot right now.
But I think we still laughed at the first one, even it wasn't funny. We were still like, ha, ha, ha.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you have another one?
Yeah. No, she because she knows like. And what makes it so great is she does it off the cusp.
Yeah.
It's at the craziest times too. You know, you could be sitting there and she's so blunt. And that's the other thing too. Like that's where my wife has done a great job too with her is like, you know, she will go and share her mind on a perspective, just like me having my phone at the table. Mm-hmm. Hey, Dad. So we're eating dinner, and you still have your phone in your hand. She says it just like that. Like, oh my God, you know, like, and I can't be mad at her. I can't be mad at her. Like, no, hey, you bring that confidence, baby girl. That's what I say. I'm like, you know what? You're right, honey. Actually, this is an email I do need to send out because Daddy's very forgetful. So let me do that. But I will put my phone down. No. And now I'm gonna ask you awkward questions, baby girl. You know, oh, Dad. You know, so
speaking of which, I have some awkward questions.
Let's
for you.
Let's go. I'm ready for it.
I'm ready for it. Real quick before you get that, if you had a chance to go back and talk to your 9-year-old self, what would you say to him?
Ooh, loaded question, my guy. Oh, Jake. Jake. Oh my God. Grace. Show yourself grace. Life is gonna be okay. Life is going to be okay. You're a good human being. The right people will gravitate towards you. Do not sacrifice the gifts that you have worked so hard on to turn yourself into a quality human being, to tailor to people who don't deserve your time or your presence. Oh man! Oh my God!
I'm saying it's beautiful.
Jake, bro! Oh my goodness! Okay, we're gonna.
I think it's beautifully well said. I don't think there's anything you need to add to that. You can if you want, but
just grace. Just know the process will work itself out. Focus on your pillars. Focus on being a good human being, being the best you can be, the best version of yourself, and it will work out. Yeah. It will work itself out.
It has, Marcus. You should be very proud.
Oh,
your 9-year-old self would be very proud, and I think your 29-year-old self should be very proud.
I am. Oh my God, Jake. Bro, I have not been this emotional in I don't know how long, and it's on a camera.
We're getting him.
Oh my gosh, man!
We're gonna get you on the podcast.
Oh, but look! You said you were loading the questions, and I know for a fact you saw the emotion in me, and you caught that, and that's why you asked these things. Brother, I'm sorry for getting so emotional. I'm trying to keep it together, but it's just
don't have to worry about it.
My mind races with all this, you know.
There's nothing wrong with getting emotional.
Just how much I've had to change, and just, you know, the 9-year-old Marcus is gone. Mm-hmm. The 9-year-old Marcus is gone. The guy I was even when I was 18, when I moved, you know, to Arizona, that guy is gone. And I will just say, thankfully, I saw very quickly that I was becoming something that would not have been fruitful, and was able to pivot. And then again, about 2 years ago, again, after losing my father, that was probably the biggest eye opener when it came to like the last like core pillar that I didn't really address, which was my emotions. You know, you can only bottle so much up before, you know, it's like a soda can that travels to higher altitudes. Mm-hmm. You know, it gets ready to explode. You can see that there's pressure. Yeah. And that's what it was for me. I started seeing the pressure and just, yeah.
Let's lighten this up a little bit.
Thank you.
Just to take some pressure off. Thank you. Random questions. Would you rather always have mild sunburn or always have chapped lips?
Oh, God. Oh, man. You know, actually, I am big on, like, I can't handle feeling sunscreen, like, even on my arms, or if I get sweaty and my shirt starts sticking to me. So it's the same thing with sunburn. With sunburn, the way that your skin reacts, especially depending on how severe it is, like it feels a little leathery. And the fact that I'm aware of that, I full on panic. What is it that the new generation calls it? It's the ick. Like gives me the ick.
Icky, yeah.
Bro, I'm sitting there, like my wife will catch me. I'll be moving my hands. Like, babe, I feel very like
it's an aloe vera.
Like, yes. And then aloe vera makes it worse.
Oh, really?
So yeah, oh my God. I'm telling you, yeah. So with that being said, definitely chapped lips.
Chapped lips.
Chapped lips.
Perfect. Final answer.
Final answer.
Would you rather have to end every sentence with plot twist or start every sentence with here's the thing?
I'm more of a here's the thing type of guy.
Okay.
Yeah. More here's the thing, because it draws people in. Okay. Here's the thing. As soon as you say that, like, all right, now, what are you about to say?
Yeah, that's true.
What are you about to say?
Yeah. It's makes people lean in. But I like leading someone in a different direction and then changing it.
Yes. Yes.
Plot twists.
Oh, so yeah.
Would you rather have a permanent bad haircut or permanent bad eyebrows?
Ooh. Can I be a little technical?
Yeah, of course.
Hats.
Hats? What about hats?
Can I wear a hat?
Yeah.
Bad haircut.
That's fair.
Bad haircut.
I like the strategy.
The eyebrows. I've tried some threading. Oh, yeah. My barber just got on me about it too. He said, "Dude," he said, "when was the last time someone touched your eyebrows?" I said, "Never." And now I'm self-conscious about the eyebrows.
I think they look good. I'm not one to judge eyebrows, except I know myself though. If I don't get them like trimmed, they get all like mustachy.
You've got strawberry hair, my friend.
Yeah.
I can't, I'm jealous. All right, sir. Let's not, I won't throw the, what is it? Oh man, the connotation about the maintenance factor with your hair, how you could take water through it. You know what I had to do to get my hair to curl today?
No.
It took me probably 10 times the amount of time that it took you to just take some of that, what is it? The gel, do it over, take your comb 3 times. Yeah. You know what happens when I try to throw a comb through this? It gets caught, like my scalp gets tender, So first of all, thanks for pointing that out,
Now I know I make this look so effortless, but there is some argan oil.
Oh my God.
There's a Dyson blow dryer in a certain way.
I throw on argan oil, my pores get filled, and I start breaking out. And then the blow dryer hits my skin, and I start getting dry again. And it's disgusting. I start flaking. So that's why I'm like looking at my shoulders, everything. It's a mess. So anyways, back to it. Hat for sure.
Hat for sure.
Hat for sure.
What are you currently unlearning?
Ooh. Unlearning. Oh man, the Neanderthal approach to construction. Oh man, I used to grill people who used to say, that's
You're starting to talk like a Neanderthal.
Yeah,
okay.
That's oh man. That sounds difficult. Like, why would I put that much time into it? And I used to be the guy that say, oh, well, if you didn't put in the time, how are you going to get paid? We all grind here. You got to have the calluses. You got to have the bloody knuckles. You got to have that grit. It's like, sir, I am not trying to have a stroke by the time I'm 40. I'm not trying to have heart problems or the severe health issues that so many in the construction industry feel are necessary to show that they're macho. I don't need to prove myself by how long I work. We know what that proves is that you're easy at getting taken advantage of. If money can be dangled in front of you, what I want to do is make sure I'm efficient. So that's really what I'm unlearning is work ethic will always pull you through. Work ethic, hard work, and smart work combined will pull you through effectively, right? That is a strategy. finding that fine line between the two and understanding there truly is a correlation that gets you to that sweet spot where amazing things happen, you know? And that's what really did happen. You know, my process 4 years ago to be able to make 3 million in a year, I had 74 jobs. I gross more than that now. And I think in the last year we took on less than 20.
That's wild.
You know? So even though, again, like I said, 29, oh no, he's a baby. Through going through it, the process of going through it, I realized very quickly, hard work, smart work, coming together creates a true concoction of success when you have the right vision and guidance.
Amen. What is a moment you're proud of that nobody knows about?
That nobody knows about. This one will be a little grim, but I think it's important to say.
Yeah.
I'm proud I'm still here. I'm proud I'm still here. When I moved to Arizona, I was definitely not in a great mental state. And after sleeping in my car, right at that moment, and this is another thing I haven't talked about because I get worried about sharing, these types of things. I don't ever want potential clients to think that, oh, this guy's, crazy or emotionally unstable. It's not the case anymore. I'm so thankful. I know who I am.
Yeah.
I'm so thankful I know who I am. But, oh man. All right. A few weeks before I made the decision to make things better for myself and reach out for more, I was sitting in my vehicle on one very scary and lonely night, and the thought came to me saying, you can end it all now. You don't have anything in your name, your bank account's negative. You don't have anything going for you. You don't even know who you are. You don't know what you want to be. The job you came out here for, then the relationship, who now is my wife, it didn't start out the way I'd expected it to, which is what man. And I sat there and I said, you know what? I put myself in this position. There's no going back. I can end it now, or I can make this commitment now that I'm never going to look at myself this way, like I am disposable, and move forward. So instead of deciding to remove myself from the scenario, I said, going forward, you're going to maintain this promise to yourself that you're always going to strive to be your best. You won't always have the answers. You won't always have the solutions. But at the end of the day, with time and efficiency, it will be okay. And ever since then, I've had these conversations with myself, So really, a win is that I'm still here. Because if it wasn't for me still being here, I've realized that a lot of people thrive off of me thriving. And I just think about how much that would have changed. My beautiful daughters being here, them living their life, things that have been able to take place because of my business performing at the capacity that it does for others, right? Giving back to society, and others knowing that there is someone there that cares, that has actually been through it, So
Beautifully well said. Thank you for sharing that. I think
Absolutely.
people are going to have a lot of ways they can relate to that and find a lot of value in that. So
Yeah.
thank you so much. Last question. What's the one thing you've done that has made the biggest difference in your life?
I've made myself vulnerable. I've had conversations, even in the last few months, going through certain scenarios, realizing how bad people could be, vendors, even clients, people who I felt were family, people I've given opportunities to, I've put myself at risk for, just to find out that they wouldn't even extend a hand out if I fell on my face,
Yeah.
And still, despite that, I see that vulnerability is the number one trait that I've developed that has resulted in me seeing success that most that come from situations like mine wouldn't even be able to comprehend. And knowing what to do with that, right? Because that's the other issue. I look at myself, even though I didn't become the professional athlete I thought I would, the average football player, not only do they end up poor, but a lot of them go bankrupt. Even though they have tons of financial advisors surrounding them, like sharks. They have access to some of the wealthiest people in the world. They're company owners. Like this is a lot of people don't realize this. Like they're exposed to greatness. It's surrounded by them. Do you know why so many of them still fail? It's because they're not vulnerable. They don't ask questions. They don't express what they're going through. Hey, my pockets are deep. I'm confident. I got skills that no one will ever be able to take from me. And this is what I'm telling myself now. I've got a wealth that will never be able to be taken from me. And I'm not talking about the finances. And it's my duty to ask the right questions and put myself out there in ways, if I don't understand what I'm going through or a pressure that I'm feeling, hey, I'll try to lean on my, my own understanding with it a little bit to try to make sure my problem, how should I say it? My problem management, it's not problem management, but the way that I address situations, critical thinking, boom, there we go. The critical thinking still needs to develop, right? Before I turn to Chat GPT or some type of, other, outside voice, right? I listen to myself. I look at my nervous system, how I'm responding. Am I trembling thinking about this? Is my body responding a certain way? Am I panicking? Am I full on panicking? All right, hey, I'm in crisis mode right now where I'm literally like, I'm feeling sick. This is borderline panic attack. You know what? Let me reach out. It's like cold calling, for those who know sales and like, thankfully I did that growing up. So now it's like, hey, you know what? Instead of sitting here and getting mad that people aren't able to answer, sometimes I do have to call a few people. Hey, got a question. Hey, got a question. Hey, got a question. And is everyone going to give you the answer you want? No. But through the process, as you, again, develop that utility belt, right? Hey, I got solutions, right? Become a general contractor in life where you're able to delegate these emotions in a way. Hey, I have this emotion. I have this problem. I need a solution because I couldn't figure it out myself. What expertise do you have? And this is something that we even had talked about. You had done it like multiple times. Some of these more serious questions that I've asked you even recently, you address it in such a subtle manner. And you don't even realize how much it actually helped me. This is something I've been dealing with for a long time. But because I'm able to be around someone who's not in the construction industry, but who carries himself professionally. How ironic is it that you literally are the exact professional I was thinking I was going to be when I decided to work full time and go to school. And then yet here you are saying, hey, actually, that was good to make an ends meet, but it's not satisfactory for me just in life. You know, there's a lot more to this. It feels good, but I'm here to feel great. And that's why you're doing this, giving back to people, you know, providing that guidance and being the life coach that you are. That's why you've helped me, you know? So, vulnerability is the number one trait that I've developed, and I'm going to continue to develop. I'm going to continue to put myself out there. I'm going to continue to share my story, share my information. And at the end of the day, just know that through trial and error, I will continue to get the information I need to continue to scale in the aspect of what not only I envision, but really just for what my purpose is.
I believe my purpose is that God put me here to help others, and I want to be love and share love with others. And I'm so grateful to have you on the podcast. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you, brother.
Thanks for tuning in. We will see you next time.